because I know that you are an artist and you have worked on murals and things like that. Like how has the arts or like your art practice like sort of helped facilitate a sense of community for you?
Oh, so the community engagements that I did, or like we did, the past couple of months here, those are actually my first time, and this is even the first time I've ever heard of community engagements and having a talk and having a conversation about. We had three themes. We talked about empathy, equality slash equity, and the environment. So we had three community engagements, and we talked to a bunch of Indigenous elders and Filipino elders as well to talk about all those three themes and what they mean to them, and try to find similarities between the two peoples and the two cultures. And that was such a great learning experience because after that, like my sister and I, we were just so amazed at how much similarities there were in both communities. And at the end of all of it, we actually were just so inspired that we want to sort of like try and start more of a partnership between like the two peoples, just because nobody really thinks about because there's always like let's say the people from South America, they're all sort of like similar cultures and everything, but so sometimes they would have festivals because they're all just they do a lot of similar things, whereas two different peoples like us Filipinos and some indigenous peoples, uh, we also just found a lot of similarities that we were like, you know what, nobody's really gone into that to see those similarities, and that's just it was just a good way to bridge, I think, even just start a conversation, because again, I don't know if anyone's tried to connect those two together. It's like it's not even polar opposites, but not to say that polar opposites can't be linked together, but yeah, so that's like one big thing that I learned out of that was just, I think at the end of it all, we were all thinking about starting like a workshop to introduce everybody else to each other's cultures, because there's just so much to learn. And me being an immigrant and not having to learn anything up to like grade 8 or 9 when it comes to like Canadian and Indigenous history, that was very eye opening for me, because like there was just so much that I didn't know, and it was also very humbling because there's so much that happened that we sort of, I think, have just forgotten. Well, I mean, maybe for me, but because I never learned them to start, but it was eye opening for many like reasons. I kind of forgot what your question was actually. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. I think that's so cool. My question was just about like how art can sort of facilitate community in your experience. But I think that that's actually a really good point, and that's really awesome. And I can sort of resonate with it a little bit because I am like a reconnecting Indigenous person, and there was like a lot of things that I had to learn too. And just being a very visual person and things um, like visual arts and all sorts of different arts, really like helped foster an understanding of the culture. So I could definitely or of like of the cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see how that could like really help bridge an understanding between cultures and communities. So that
Yeah.
is actually really awesome.
Yeah, the community engagements really opened a door into, and in opening that door, we're using the concept for the murals that we have to even open a bigger door to further conversation. Again, good art is a good conversation starter, right? So those are things that people have never thought of, but will probably start thinking about now, because once they see it, they'll be like, oh, that's that, but that's that. Oh, I didn't know it was like sort of similar kind of deal. So I guess I'd like to think that's like one way to sort of help communities talk to each other, or maybe strengthen existing communities, because it's I
Yeah,
don't know how
absolutely.
else to say. Yeah, art is a conversation starter.